Hey there everyone, Luke here. Now, just a quick update before we get into the chapter about what's been happening recently. So the monster retrospective that me and Vex did about a week ago. That's up on the Control Chaos channel. Go and check that out. We'll also be starting our modcast bits about Power Rangers, the post Sword on era, because we finished Lightspeed Rescue, so we'll be getting that done, but all the thoughts together will be after we've done Wild Force. So that's update on the Control Chaos side. Now for the personal side, I went and saw the cat today. The new cats that we are welcoming as part of the family. It's going to be my cat because I'll be doing the adoption, and as soon as I saw him, as soon as I picked him up, I was like, he's the one. So, got a couple of little things on the adoption side. The people that are looking after him at the moment, they've got to do a couple of little things, and I've got to do a couple of little things. So, they're just the little tiny bits that we've got. The boring stuff, as it well, the paperwork and making sure the house is all right for him. But hopefully it will be, and hopefully have many memories with him for years to come. Now, in terms of his name, not going to be revealing that just yet until we actually get him in the house and I can pick him up, put him in a video. But yeah, that's all for later. So yeah, went really well. And now we can finally get into talking about this chapter. Alright, so this will be chapter 183, titled The Twins Grew Up. Now, when I first was looking over things, I thought, like, oh my god, don't tell me we've entered another time skip and we're just skipping to the end of the series now. But no, thankfully that is not how it goes. But judging by judging by the images that we've got here, it does seem to be like, yeah, these are going to be their designs when they grow up to be what would be relatively the same age as Tayo and Mutsumi had before this, just right prior to the series started. So anyway, the chapter starts off with them going like, hey, guess what? We rescued Uncle Nano, and we should be back in a few hours and everything. We've got lots of stories to tell you. And then 3 hours later, they're back, and Mutsumi and Tayo are just like really shocked, to be like, okay, what happened to our kids? Like, what did you do? And I just love the expressions of that time. It's just like, what is going on? Like the eyes bulging and like the dotted pupils of just like, yeah, why are you two like this? As Alpha and Hiyofumi are basically explaining like, oh, the police questioning took so long that Uncle Koricho missed our train, and here I took a video of him recording, trying to catch up with us, which I could just imagine, like Koricho having a police interview. Can you just imagine that? And him trying his best to avoid getting arrested and thrown in the slammer. So yeah, Koricho, you really need to calm down when it comes to your obsession and your killing with your spider web. But anyway, Alfred and Yofumi continued to go on by saying like, oh, and here's another costumes getting suspicious. Oh, and here's another of customs getting suspicions and stopping us, and yeah, he's supposed to be an elite spy. So yeah, they're basically roasting Koricho in this, of just being, yeah, he's supposed to be an elite spy, but at the same time, he was just getting caught left, right, and centre. It was like he was basically being asked to be caught, and you just see Tayo and Musumi's just whiteness just go over them, just like they're just in complete denial of like, this is not happening right now. This is not happening. Our kids are just as tall as us. What is going on here? But they're trying to hide this by saying, yeah, those agents sure are good at their job, Alpha. Oh, yeah, thanks here for me. I'll look forward. I'll try this coffee later. And then you see no, they're with them in a suit and tie with the number 7 on it. I love that they keeping that as like a running theme of just like clothing with the number on to indicate what what position the sibling has in terms of the age range. So like Nano's like 7, so obviously the youngest of the siblings, but also as well he has his bucket back on his head, which means I honestly want to know what Nano's post-time skip monster form looks like. Is it going to be like even more demented than it was before? Because we've seen his post-time skip on his what he really looks like, so now we got to see it on what his monster form looks like, as he goes, "Oh, it's been a while. It's me, Tayo. Here for me and Alpha, and I had an adventurous trip home that two of them did a lot of growing up." Yeah, no kidding, Nano, and Mutsume just basically cuts the chase of yeah, it's nice to see you, Nano, and everything, but I hope you can understand that the two of us are so overwhelmed right now that we can't even inject literally into that, like can't process anything going on right now. So could you please explain what exactly happened and why these two are the way they are? So now I was just like, oh yeah, oh of course about that, yeah, apparently they were rifling through my luggage and found a bottle of my growth elixir. They thought it was juice and drank it, and you can clearly see now of just what they've actually come. And is it Mutsume? Yeah, it's Mutsume saying like, "Oh, okay, thank you for your clear and precise expression." So yeah, basically, Alpha and Yofumi were just over there like, "Oh, what's in Uncle Nano's bag? Oh, it's just juice. Let's drink it." And then poof, they're already teenagers now. The look of their teenagers, which means they've grown at least 10 years. And like I said, judging by this is probably the designs they're going to be like when we get to right at the end of the series, when they're teenagers, they're grown up and everything, and they're probably welcoming a new younger sibling, like the youngest of the 11th generation, into the family. So whilst Nano continues to explain the drug, what its effects do, and the fact that it only works for one night, so they're going to be back to normal by the end of this chapter. We have Tayo and Mutsume observing them and just being like, "Oh hey, they both look like they're in high school age right now." And it's funny because Alpha in this form is actually taller than Mutsume, so I guess I guess it makes sense, but still, I find that funny. But I also find out even more funny is that Hiyofumi is going to grow up, because Tayo is quite short himself as well, so they're both going to grow up to be almost as tall as their parents when they reach the age of 40. That's insane to think about. But yeah, Tayo makes the observation, it's just like, "Oh yeah, they're almost like the way we were back in high school, back before all this started." And of course, in typical Mission Yozakura fashion, even though Tayo and everyone bashes Koricho for doing this, and they bash Momo for doing this as well, Mutsume and Tayo are just like, oh, they grow up and just like, give us hugs right now, give us mummy and daddy hugs. Like, come on guys, you're being kind of hypocritical here because you're bashing Koricho for doing the exact same thing, and Momo as well in the past. But Alpha and Hiyofumi are saying like, oh, no, Tayo and Mutsume are basically describing their kids, with Mutsume saying like, "Oh Alpha, your eyes are as bright and kind as Tayo's were back then. Look at you, you're so handsome on this." Brings back so many bittersweet memories. And obviously Tayo is complimenting Hiyofumi for having been the spitting image of Mutsume, the elegant strength, the glimpse of a gentle, cheerful smile, and he's practically drowned in nostalgia right now. Yeah, nostalgia for when you first met Mutsume, but might wanna keep a low profile on that one, because you're gonna get some PTSD from when you started this time if you keep bringing back nostalgic memories of Koricho basically trying to kill you right at the start here. And they go as like, "Oh, no matter how big you get, you two will always be our little angels." And Nano goes into his thoughts now. It's like, "Oh, those two look like they're gonna have trouble letting go," and I'm worried about this. But of course, Alpha and Hiyofumi are just like, okay, Papa, Mama, Let us go right now, because we're not kids at the moment. We're teenagers right now. So being called by you two is kind of embarrassing. I love Tayo and Mitsumi's expression here. So they're basically going through the teenage phase of just like, oh, do we have to go through the hugs right now? Like, can't we just be right away? You just see the wind just get knocked out of Tayo and Mitsumi's face, kind of in the same way that it happens with Koichi when he's basically pushed away. Only they do it. I think a little less dramatic than Koichi, but nevertheless dramatic. They're just like, they're basically like the wind's blowing out. They're just like, let me catch my breath now. Oh, puberty, independence. We're not needed anymore, Mutsumi. Let's just go away. And Alpha and Ilfumi are just being like, no. We still love you. We just don't feel like hugging you right now. And now it's just like, oh, no. Alpha and Ilfumi will be just fine right now. Before we have Shinzo, not Shinzo, which by the way, Shinzo, we get reference to him in this chapter. We have Keigo and Shion crowding around Nano and just being like, alright, is it any wonderful? The funny stories our resident genius brings home on a totally different level. No, you're as big and cuddly as ever. And of course, Nano it's like, hi you two, I'm glad to see you. You haven't changed one bit. And I love more of these interactions because we have Keigo being like, hey, what do you two shrimps think you're doing acting all grown up? Like, Keigo's being a bit cocky because Alpha, I think Alpha is actually taller than Keigo at this point as well. And Hirofumi, like with Tail, is going to be about as tall as Shion when she reaches 14. But yeah, Keigo's just being acting a little bit cocky. I've just been, I have to look up at you now. Oh, you're being a bit too all grown up there, hitting puberty already, did you, Alpha? And she was just like, oh wow, aren't you two all mature? How cute! And so, and Nano's just like, that's all the most annoying thing that's about the most annoying thing a relative could do. Yeah, no bloody surprise, because they're like, hey, because it's like when relatives go, hey, you've shot up, you've shot up a bit, haven't you? And the relative it's being said to, it's like, no, I'm having a drink here if you don't mind. And it's like, oh, how old are you? 14? Oh, 14, catch me up. No, you always have that 9-year gap on me. So yeah, it's basically like that, like the most annoying thing could be like, hey, getting a bit cocky because you're grown up now. And Alpha and Hirofumi just made the biggest comeback here. Hey, Uncle Keigo, Aunt Shion, Uncle Keigo, I've got something to say to you here. And we get another variation on the squiggly line squiggle panel that Gonichi, I keep forgetting how to pronounce the author's name, Gondaria Sensei. So we have another one of those squiggly panels that it was have when we had Alpha and Hirofumi, where basically Nano was dissing the name of the HA Kapow cannon, and we got those squiggly lined fade out faces. We get the same thing here with Shion and Keigo when Alpha is just like, hey, so Uncle Keigo, don't you think wearing cat ears and a tail as an adult is a little cringe? And you know what? Saying that, I couldn't help but think, like, I wonder what Fex is gonna say about that. So I posted it to them, and let's have a look at what Fex actually says about that. If I can get up Fex's comments about it. So come on, Discord, open up here. Come on. I apologize about this. Discord is being really funny right now. So yeah, okay, we're going into our messages here. So so I'm sorry about that. But again, I just love it when they just get the wind knocked out of them. So okay, here we go. Thanks messages. So let's go up a bit. No. Stop being a pain. Stop being a pain. Discord on my phone. What's about back here? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Bit up, bit up, bit up. Okay, so Vex didn't actually say anything, but they just laughed at it because I was like, how dare they say that in Mission Yozakura? Because anybody who's seen any of the Control Chaos videos know that Vex does like to be a bit like to express themselves. Sorry, Vex. Express themselves with cat ears sometimes as well. So I just found that funny, and I had to message Vex about that, but. Yeah, and obviously Hirofumi says, "Don't you think you should wear something more appropriate if it's just if just to be more mature?" Obviously referencing the fact that oh, flaming Nora, I hate sometimes when you have phones and you have to keep having the phones catch up with you. So come on, phone. This is okay, but don't be doing this now. Don't be doing this now. I hate when we have to do this. Okay. No. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, we're back on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry for that massive tangent right there. But yeah, Hirofumi is obviously referencing Shion's outfit because it's like a bit revealing, and this again knocks the wind out of both Shion and Keigo, and Nano's just basically giving his commentary here of just like acting like a pair of overgrown kids get shot down with logic, and Keigo's just like, well, what wasn't that a cutting response? And Shion's just like, oh, harsh, and they're just again like, oh, okay, we're sorry, your looks suit you, we like you both just the way you are. And okay, I'm not the only one who can see this, but is this a little bit flirtatious with their aunt and uncle? Because you have both of them being like, yeah, this is a bit like, I don't know how to feel about this. When we have Alpha going, here, we bought some souvenir chocolates for you. And we have Hirofumi saying, don't you think the pink and yellow wrapping is just perfect? And yeah, that basically knocks the wind out of them. So they're like, oh, they're just so grown up. Play it by us forever, hold me. And now it's just continue on by saying they sure worked on the precision these last 5 years. So yeah, bit weird right there. Not sure how to feel about it. And now we come to probably my favourite part of the chapter, and obviously the funniest, where we have Futaba coming in and just being like, being like trying to be the old grown up older sister, just being, oh, you two children are such slobs. Look at you over the moon at just because they grew a few inches. So obviously talking about Shion and Keigo. You don't practice enough discipline. That's why you're so affected by mere appearances. And yeah, even Futaba can't resist this. Even Futaba is immune to the cuteness of her niece and nephew being grown up as she gets picked up by Hirofumi like a little child's doll, and being like, oh, you're so cute, Futaba. Growing this big has only made me realise that even more. You're like a proclaiming doll. Yeah, basically treating her like a doll here. And Futaba is just like, put me down before I go over old cuteness and all. And we have Nano saying like, you better put her down for the sake of her own dignity. Yeah, can you imagine if that got out and everyone in the academy was like, oh, did you see Futaba Yozakura? Yeah, she was picked up like a doll. Oh, how cute! What a cute little bun. Yeah, you can imagine just the insanity that would come from that. And yeah, we have, of course, after berating Shion and Keigo for being overwhelmed by the cuteness of Alpha and Hirofumi being grown up, we have Keigo and Shion themselves berating Futaba, just like, they got you too, you're just as bad, which of course results in them getting a complete clonk on the head by Futaba. But then it's like, okay, we've had the fun antics, now we need to get down to the business, because the Nano owes Alpha and Hifumi something, as the pen mark that he uses comes out of his finger. So it's just like, and the tip of his finger is now a pen. So as he says, I owe you something for rescuing me. I haven't given you that yet. Thanks to both of you. As he gives them his stamps. So now they have 3 stamps. They have Keigo, Shion, and Nananos. And he goes on and says like, oh, you two clearly stand shoulder to shoulder with us with pride. So basically, it's like, yeah, you've proven yourself in my eyes that you're more than willing to go on this mission with us. And of course, where would Mission Yozakura family be without I doing some cuteness here? Because she's just like, we see just about like 50 cartons of milk, and I just be like, gloop, 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 must drink milk, must drink milk, must get bigger than the twins, must get bigger than the twins, must get bigger than the twins, can't let them outdo me, can't let them outdo me. And Tao's just like, oh, okay, you're gonna make yourself sick, and you just have, is that? Yeah, we have Fruitama just being dead on the floor and just writing cute, and it's just like death by cuteness overload here. And obviously because Nano gave them the stamps, they're like, hey, Uncle Karicho did promise us that he would give us his stamp if we complete the mission as well. So let's go and see him. And as soon as they go and see him, he's just there dead on the floor. Like basically, no one escaped the cuteness of the twins here. You know what? Maybe I should make that the wait. I've got the. Yeah. I'm gonna write. No one escapes the cuteness of grown-up twins. Actually, no. I should just make it all grown up. Or cuteness over. No, all grown up. That's gonna be the title of the chapter. So yeah, going through the various title of the chapter review. So yeah, we have getting back to the chapter properly. We have Karicho being dead on the floor, and Alpha's just like, Uncle, are you okay? What happened? He's crying so hard, no sound is coming out. As it turns out that he's been looking over family photos of Mutsumi, and of course, because of seeing how cute her mother was and how very similar she is to her, we have Hifumi crying her eyes out too, and I was just like, what the hell is going on with you? As she goes on space, I know, I feel it too. He saw us all grown up, and it reminded him of when Mama got married. Just like Mama, we're both going to grow up and get married someday. I get sad too, knowing that you're going to get married someday, Alpha, and then go far away. And of course, because of this, Creature's just like, oh my god, my niece understands me again. She loves me again. Back to Creature mode. Oh, Hifumi, you understand the pain, this underlying sorrow, and yeah, I do. And Alpha's just there like, oh my god, do I have to put up with this crap right now? And he's just like, okay, Uncle, be reasonable here. I don't think you need to worry about that. Given how much of a handful my sister is, I doubt I'll ever have this time to settle down and get married. So I guess this is basically confirming that Alpha is never going to get married. Hey, some people just don't do that. Whilst Hifumi was just like, oh, you're so kind, Alpha. I was just like, no, it wasn't meant to be a compliment. Besides, right now we only look grown up because of the drug. There's no way the real future Hifumi will be this calm and ladylike. So basically, confirming that Hifumi right now will be pretty much, I would say, a combination between Mutsumi and Futaba. So she's going to be a scary woman when she grows up. As you see, just this enormous black box with just future on it, which represents what I feel like Alpha fears Hifumi will turn into in the future. And Karicho's just like, oh, good point. She's just going to be even more of a handful to deal with. And Hifumi's just like, yeah, you've got a point there. as Karichi's like, okay, look, I feel much better now. I feel much better now knowing that you two are never gonna move far away from the family. So I can give you your stamp right now. And this is where we have Karicho saying like, oh yeah, by the way, you two. What did you think of a trip with me? Did you not hate it? And they're just like, why are you asking us right now? Before he explains, like, oh, Mutsumi was concerned about the idea of of me traveling alone with you. I told them when I love someone, I tend to act in a way that, in ways that are inappropriate. I haven't the faintest idea of what she's meant, but I'm curious. So even though people are just telling you, like, look, Karicho, you get carried away so badly because of people that you actually love, and he's just like, do I? I don't see where I do, when it's clear evidence standing in front of. Even Alva's just like, yeah, he doesn't really get it, but even though he doesn't get it, he's still trying to get. So yeah, bit of character development there for Creature, because even though he's like, yeah, I don't really get what they're going on about, but at the same time, I'm willing to listen to my family and understand them and try to take on their points. As they go on and say, look, Uncle, I didn't hate it at all, and neither did he for me. They explained like, oh, we had a lot of fun and we should do it again sometime. And this is enough for Creature to be like, I see, I enjoyed it too. And you get the impression that he did enjoy it. Like, you really get the impression that he did enjoy it, but at the same time, he really needs to tone it down just a little bit more if he wants people to be like, okay, yeah, we'll be willing to go on more trips with you. So he thanks them and gives him his stamps. So now they have 5 stamps. They have all the stamps of all siblings here, minus Futaba and Shinzo. So Shinzo is probably going to be the next one that they get, and then they've got to have one final test with Futaba and get her stamp, and then obviously get Taiyo and Mutsumi's stamp. So yeah, we'll probably be with the getting of the stamps will probably take us right through to the end of the year before we get the Christmas break. That's probably where we're going to end off this year, just that stamp book being completed. Yeah, so they say the twins only have 4. Wait, they only have 4. Oh yeah, they have 4 more because they have Mutsumi's, Taiyo's, Shinzo's, and Futaba's. So the next day, after all this is over, they're back to normal, and they're like. And Keigo-san's like, well, it was fun while it lasted. Wish I could have seen them more. And she's like, oh, give it a decade or so, and you'll get to see them again. And I was just like, no, you won't see them like that, but you won't see them like that, but their personalities will be a bit different, of course. And Fruitus was like, yeah, exactly. There's no telling what the future may bring. We'll just have to see what you become. And this is where we actually get the reference to Shinzo, and something I was not expecting, but at the same time, I'm glad we're finally addressing this. As we have Keigo saying like, man, that was fun. Poor Shinyon's really missing out. I wonder what he's up to. Are they still making him work in a thong? And we get a message come through from Shinzo. And they're just like, oh, it looks like he was waiting for this moment. So our family's second son for you. The thing is, and then we get an announcement that he's actually getting married to a woman called Katana Alexander. And that's where the chapter ends. So, big reveal at the end of the chapter here. Like I said, this is just something that has been bugging me throughout the series of just like, what is up with the is Mutsumi's generation the only generation that actually have siblings? And if it isn't, like, what happened to the other siblings? Did they go off and get married? But yeah, this also raises the question of like, can the other siblings actually have children? Like, that's something that's been, but can they have children? And can they? Oh no, wait, is like, you see, this is like bugging me. Like, okay, they can't. Okay, it's only the head is the only one that can give the superpower children. But does that mean the other siblings can't have children themselves? Well, if they have children, then they obviously wouldn't have the smoke. But these are questions that I want just like pointing out in the forefront. Can the other siblings have kids? Can Shinzo have kids? Can Futaba have kids? Can Keigo have kids? Like, there's just something that I really want to know throughout this. But in terms of this person, I think this is a setup. This is clearly going to be a setup for Asa to get them all in one place, because he's probably aware at this point of just how strong the twins are, even at the age of 4, and he's probably planning, concocting some scheme to get them all in and under his control at this point in time. And Shinzo is obviously being bait here, or he might possibly be legitimately getting married to this one, but I highly doubt that. There is something fishy going on. This person probably is working for Asa, or working for someone who was working for Asa. Either way, those are my theories about what's going on here. Like, it can't be just willingly Shinso is getting married, like, or he might even be willing to get married, but at the same time, I'm going to be very cautious of being like, no, this has to be a plot by Asa to get everyone in one place. But we'll just have to wait and see on that front. But for now, what did you guys think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.